Chicago, baby. Chicago, baby.
What is all my fellow sackers? So today I have the top 8 deck list for our Chicago Monthly that happened on September 14th. We had 41 players duking it out for an Ultimate Rare deck dev. It's understandably less players than the Ultimate Caius one, obviously. The Ultimate Caius is worth a lot of money. But yeah, this is just, you know, I love these monthlies. I tend to judge them now. I play in the first 3, and now I'm just judging them. They're so fun. The Chicago scene is so amazing. If you're ever out in the area, I highly recommend coming. It's a blast. The store TGS, shouts to Nick and Frank. They run the tournament really, really well. We have match slips. I'm trying to make the tournament go as fast as I can. Everything is just about is just like super top tier in my opinion. We've even got a stream set up. Actually, I'll pull that up later. But let's go over the breakdown. So 41 players, 11 Blackwing, 8 Value, 3 Zombies, 3 Lightsworn variants. I forgot 4 Amaryllis. But a lot of miscellaneous decks too, and this is a great breakdown right here, very official. But an interesting thing to note, compared to last month's, if I can pull that up real quick, compared to last month's breakdown, so last month, shout out to Chai for winning last month, and he got top 4 this month. But yeah, there is a severe lack of frogs this month. There was only 2 frog players showing up to this event. Kind of weird. I know a lot of the frog mains didn't show up today. Shouts to like Marcus, he was playing Lightsworn instead. RJ, he didn't show up. Just a lot of other frog players just didn't show up or decided to play frogs this time for some reason. So that could be attributed to some of the reasons why some of the decks top that they did. There were a lot of crazy decks that topped this time. So we'll just get right into it. Actually, first I want to show some pictures of the event. This is the stream commentary booth, and that's the feature match table. If anyone was curious about our setup. This is our top 4. Shouts to Pristine Protection for always giving the top 4 a, I guess, sample bundle of their sleeves. It's a really nice addition, so shouts to them. It's just awesome having the price support we have here for a consistent monthly. Leonel won with our Amaryllis, and this is the standings after Swiss. Oh, another thing to note, there were no Value Turbos in top 8, but 9th, 10th, 11th, and 11th were all Value Turbo, and they all had the same record. They all went X2, so that's pretty rough. But yeah, we can start getting into it now. Okay, so starting off with the 5th through 8th place deck list, we have Spencer on Instant Zombies. The cool thing about this top 8 is I think I know every player, but yeah, so he's a zombie one trick. This is definitely his main deck. He's been playing it. He's been playing zombies for as long as I can remember. And then when Instant Zombies came out, I'm pretty sure he's been playing Instant Zombies for as long as it's been out. I'll try to go through the list a little more in depth this time because I think the lists are really interesting. So Spencer is playing, what is this, 5 tuners? 6 tuners, including Plague. So that's a lot of tuners. It's the only list I've seen for Instant Zombies where he plays both the teleport package and divas. I personally think it's too much, but you know, if it worked for him, it worked for him. I know he lost to David, who was playing Hero Frogs in top 8. And this seems like a really hard matchup for Hero Frogs. But to be fair, Spencer wasn't really drawing his Instant Fusions or Book of Lives, which kind of like is just gas in that matchups because recruiters just kept getting Monarch. So that's really rough. He is maining double Dust Tornado 2, which I like. I don't know if you have to main 2, but I feel like you have to main at least 1. Oppression is just such a blowout against your deck. But yeah, obviously the deck has a lot of firepower. I'm surprised he can actually fit 10 traps in here with all the gas he has, so that's pretty cool. In the side deck, Breaker, DD Assailant, I feel like these decks or these cards are slipping into more and more decks that get railed by Oppression and Deck Dev. These two are just really good cards against both of them. They don't get hit by Deck Dev. Breaker outs Oppression. Breaker's just so good into Value Turbo too. 2 Fossil Dyna. Interesting that he plays Fossil over Vanity's Fiend, but I guess you don't really want to ever side out Caius, so it's like you might as well just put in Dyna instead, or else playing 5 Tributes is a lot. My Body's Shield, really good into Deck Dev and Blackwing. 2 Smashing Ground. I like seeing this. This is like the Beast Mode Classic. You know, he sides out the cards that are weak to Oppression and puts in just more 1-for-1 removal. 2 Compulse, the 3rd Dust Tornado, and then 2 Skill Drain. Obviously, this is, if you've watched the Zombie Roundtable, they were really big on skill drain. This card's just, you know, good into frogs and gladiator beast, two of your hardest matchups, and I still think it's really good into like a bunch of other stuff. Vayu, I can't think of it, but I'm sure it's good. A bunch of stuff I'm blinking on the top of my head. He sides in the Solemn. It's becoming more and more common to see in the side or not even in the main at all. Transmigration. I think this card is, you know, I was thinking this card would be worse after Dream Frog came out, but DD Crow doesn't stop salvage, so maybe this card does have some more merit. I don't know. And the Trap Hole. I saw him flip this at locals a few times on like Kalutes. Like the Blackwing players are always trying to play around Bombless, and they just go rolling Kalute, and he flips Trap Hole, and they're just like, eh. That's pretty cool. And for the extra deck, he is playing Urbellum. I know he likes this card, and I think this card is just, if you're playing instant, you have to play this card, I think. Less and less Arcanite. I don't see the Arcanite package. There's less and less lists are playing the Arcanite package with Musician King. Carbonella over Darkfire to play around Drago, and rest is pretty standard. Yes, congrats to Spencer. Next we have Seth. He is our local Blackwing player, and he loves to draw Black Rowan. He's a freaking goat at drawing Black Rowan. And his list is pretty standard besides 6 draw traps, it looks like. Wow, 6 draw traps. You don't see that too often anymore. I feel like more lists are going down to 3 and 4. But hey, we all know 6 can do it. Shouts to Hector, HT19. In the side deck, it looks really standard besides these last 3 or 4-ish cards. He's not maining Oppression, I just realized, which is fine. I feel like that's, again, in a Blackwing value meta, that's a totally fine call. 7 tools. I feel like I see this card a decent amount, but I still can't tell if this card is insane or not. So I'll have to see if... But Trap Sun makes sense. Trap Sun is just such a random blowout against some decks. The rest seem really, really standard. So yeah, congrats to Seth. Next, 5th through 8th, we got Metaphors. Marcus Hayden, he's playing his Chaos Fairy... like Lightsworn list. It's the pudding list, essentially. I know he's made a few changes from the pudding list, I believe he said, but I don't know the pudding list well enough off the top of my head to see the differences at least. He does have this deck profile on his channel, so shout out to Metaphos if you want to see his explanations and thoughts on this. For the side deck, dude, I haven't seen him drop this card, Herald of Purple Light. Like, I haven't seen this card been used, but I know he's kept this in for a while, so I feel like he's definitely had to have used it. And the only other cool call out is Needle Sealing. Is this just for frogs? Amaryllis, I guess? I feel like this card is definitely underrated too. The fact that you can flip at any time is just really, really good. And I know for his extra deck, he said he would play the Air Knight Parsheth synchro, but he doesn't have it. Freaking poor ass mother. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, this list is really cool. Marcus also went 6-0 in Swiss, so he was cooking. What did he lose to in top 8? I forget what he lost to in top 8, but he was definitely cooking all day. It's just, this deck is like surprisingly very consistent. When I was watching him play, it was just like, he has just so many options and extenders. It's cool to watch. Okay, next we have my friend Chef Taku Jason. Funny thing is, he called me when I was driving to the event, and he's like, I made a last minute deck change. Can you help me fill out the deck list? So I filled out his deck list for him. And he topped it. He went X1 in Swiss and topped. So this list is, I think this debuted at a Fraser local. You should have seen the boards this guy was making. It's like not real. You would see like Caius Dark Arm, like Chaos Orc, or like Trag Lumina Garoth. It's just like Vayu Synchro. I saw a play where he went like he went Lila, it got bottomless. He summoned JD, got oppression, and he's like, all right, I'll just use value effect. Like, this guy, he just had it all. Like, it was so interesting that this deck was just so consistent. And I know he's made a few changes since the tournament, since that was obviously, I don't know why there are 2 Card Trooper in here. What the fuck? That's not right. Where is this list? Now I have to double check. We also have paper deck list, so that's how we get all these lists. To do a quick scan. Everything else looks right. And there's a back, of course, because there's too many damn monsters. Everything else looks right. I don't know why there were 2 Card Trooper there. I'm tripping. Sorry, guys. But yeah, no, okay, so basically he was cooking everyone, and then in top 8, he played against Chris. You know, Chris was the story of the tournament, the Six Samurai player. And after he played Chris, this happened. He had 2 JDs up that both got Fiendish chained. And then later, he told me he outed one of the Fiendish chains, and then he activated JD, and then Chris had the 3rd Fiendish chain. So Jason's like, I just paid 3,000 life points to do absolutely nothing. It's just, Chris had the wildest run, man. But yeah, I know this list, I actually think this deck has like potential. Based off what I was seeing Jason do, this deck was just like, wow, this deck is actually kind of crazy. So yeah, shout out to Jason for taking a random brew last second and getting top 8 with it. Okay, in the top 4 deck list, we have Mr. Eric Chai, winner of last month's, playing Blackwing again. Man, I don't know if his main is the same or not. I'm pretty sure his main deck is... No. There is a 3rd Icarus attack. Last time he was not playing 3 Icarus. He was playing 2 Icarus, 1 deck dev. I know we talked about how like Icarus is just so broken. You should play 3 anyway, even with deck dev. I'm not sure what he took out for it. But in the side deck, there are some spicy choices. I know he was playing Return because he was just like, this would be funny to resolve on stream. Because like all your stuff is getting banished. And unfortunately, he used the defensive Return on stream, which kind of sucks. But... hey, it is what it is. Possessed Dark Soul. This card, I feel like, is going to get more play for sure. With frogs being so prevalent, and this, instead of taking like... because if they put a dupe block out, you almost always need 2 cards to out a dupe block. So you're going neg, and they go plus, because they're probably going to search off one of the dupe frogs. But with Possessed Dark Soul, instead of going neg, you go plus for 1 card instead of 2. So I feel like this card is just really, really good. There's no way they can negate it. They don't play Solemn. You get priority. They can't run Geki Break. So this card is underslept in my opinion. So pretty good card. Shout out to Tom Mack for showing... this is the first time I saw this card, personally, in Tom Mack's Dark Plants deck profile. So that's pretty cool. And the rest of the side is pretty standard. Not much to say here. And then Chai's obviously top 4 match was, you know, Chai's top 4 match against Chris was so anime-esque. I actually uploaded it to my channel separately. Like I ripped it from the VOD. So that match is, I think I watched that match like 3 times. It was so funny. Okay, another side top 4 we have David. David's a Hero Frog 1 trick. He's pretty much played this similar list. I know he's been on 2 Ryza for a little. But I think the 3rd swap and 2nd e-call are new. This is pretty much Fraser's list, except instead of the Dandy Few, he plays 3rd swap, 2nd e-call. But there is the 2nd Ryza. What did he take out for the 2nd Ryza? Dude, I don't know. I'm not going to figure it out. I wish I could figure this stuff out fast. I wish I was a genius. But yeah, so I don't know, it's a pretty standard list, is all I'm trying to say. A little more consistency with the 3rd swap, 2 e-call, and the 2nd Ryza. For his side deck, oh, actually, this is kind of interesting. So I know David used to be on freaking triple D prison this side, and I think he's been messing with that ratio for a long time, but I guess he settled on 1. Water art has become more and more common in the frog side deck, I feel like. Ever since I uploaded that frog roundtable and Rognak leaked the sauce with water art being the best card in the mirror. That's what he said, were his words, not mine. I feel like this card has been coming in more and more and more. And this card does cook, I won't lie. But it also can be dead. Like, weirdly enough, it can be kind of dead, if that makes sense. It's kind of weird. The rest of the side looks pretty standard. I don't know how people feel about Dark Dust Spirit still, but hey, I still see it. I mean, it's still an AoE blowout, so there we go. Okay, and then 2nd place, I will have this freaking abomination of a deck on my channel later this week, or like beginning of next week, with Chris, and he shares why he picked what he did. For those who don't know, Chris already has a deck profile on my channel from when he topped the 1st monthly. It's pretty similar. There's a few changes. And I will say, for those who want to figure out how the hell Six Samurai got 2nd, I don't know. This man doesn't know what half the cards in the meta do. he's a solid player, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't know what like half the stuff does. He lost to Amaryllis in the finals and had no idea what any of the cards did. This guy's just literally a 6 samurai one trick for like he played during Edison, and he like played 6 samurais for like 4 years like in a row like after Edison. Like this guy like just only plays 6 samurai. He's just the 6 samurai master. So yeah, so shout out to Chris for just being a Giga Chad. He always flexed this stupid ultimate rare RDA in his extra deck for fun. When he entered the first monthly, he didn't have Stardust Dragon, so I gave him my 2 rares, and he still uses them. Like this man's just a freaking Giga Chad. And like he is such a character, man. He even tells his opponent like, "Yo, how do you want me to side?" And he like shows his side deck, and like he'll actually do it. Like, and he still wins. Like this guy's just not real. I don't know how the hell he wins games of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like crazy. Okay, but also I will say this deck has an insane matchup against Value Turbo. It is like not fair, because dude, when I'm playing Value Turbo, I'm like, I'm like trying to set up my grave, doing some slow stuff at the beginning, and then he just goes Iroh, and then he goes Yaichi. You can't bottomless Yaichi, bro. And he can go Yaichi, Special Grandmaster, and go call priority. So even if I bottomless on Grandmaster, he goes priority and blows up my other back row. Like, it's so broken against Value. Like, I remember when I first played against Chris with my old Value build, I got like, we only played game once, but I got like 6-0'd. Because Yaichi and Iroh just pushed my shit in and hand, because it just pops my Raikos and stuff. It's just like, I can't resolve Raikos. I can't resolve my traps. Like, I can't play it early game, and I can't play early game, it just gets too much tempo. Like, I don't know. This deck's funny. I will say, though, this deck is absolutely railed by frogs. That being said, he did beat David, who was our top 4 frog player. So, I don't know. Chris always complains about frogs, like, when he plays this deck, because, like Monarchs and Absolute Zero are pain to deal with. But Chris just always seems to figure out. I don't know how he does it, man. All right, and then last but not least, Leonel with I was gonna say Titanium Turbo, Amaryllis, whatever you want to call it. His list is pretty standard. I will say though, he is playing more payoff, I guess, since there's 3 Miracle Fertilizer instead of the normal 2, and he's playing 5 discard traps instead of the normal 3. He's also playing the Future Fusion with Dasher, Stratos. I don't know how that worked for him, because I didn't watch too many of Leonel's streams, but I know he sides out this package a lot. In the stream match, he milled Dasher like turn 1 with charge or something, and he just never used Dasher's effect. So I don't know. I personally think in my head, this package is not that great. It's just basically for Future Fusion as an extra Foolish Burial, which is very good, but you are playing like 2 like whatever cards for 1 Future Fusion. So I don't know. I mean, a Stratos grabbing Dasher for a discard trap is pretty good, I guess. So there is that. But no, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe. The one bottomless. I have a friend who plays Amaryllis a lot, and he's convinced that bottomless is like 2 bottomless is needed for all the Blackwing GBs or whatever. And he says it helps it a lot, which makes sense. But I don't know. Amaryllis, the deck is definitely not solved. I feel like Value, which is like a solid 36 that are always in every deck. I feel like Amaryllis, like people are playing 2-3 Miracle Fertilizer. People are playing like 1 to 3 copies of Hidden Army at any time. People are playing 2 to 3 Amaryllis. It's deck can be better for sure. For the side deck, there's a lot of stuff that makes sense that I like a lot. The Aaron, it's a roto target, or sorry, charge target is also a roto target, but yeah. Decree, very strong in Amaryllis, and then Skill Drain. This card, like I recently realized, is really good in Amaryllis. A lot of their stuff still works. He does side trap, does shoot. Makes sense that the games go really long when you're playing Amaryllis. You don't want to dead draw it. You probably just size it in going first. And then for the extra deck, yeah, I mean it's pretty standard. You have the 2 heroes, so you have to cut something, but I feel like he has everything he wants in here. But yeah, congrats to Leonel. I remember asking him, like, when we were watching Chai versus Chris, like, who he wanted to win it. I assumed he wanted Chris to win because, Amaryllis infamously has a bad matchup into Blackwings. But he was saying, like, I'm actually not that afraid of Blackwings. I feel like I know the matchup pretty well. He said he was more afraid of Chris, like the player, because Chris just had the main character energy at the time, and he definitely did. So, but Leonel clutched it, and he won his ultimate deck dev. So, Yeah, pretty sick, great tournament. Let me pull up the next. So the next. Oh my god, why is it like this format? Okay. Oh, I just drew all over it. The next TGS monthly is October 19th. Is for first ed ulti Cyber Dragon, so that's a pretty coveted card in my opinion. I kind of want to play this time and not judge and try to win it, but we'll see. I haven't decided, but yeah, if you're in the area or you're trying to come out to one of these monthlies, October 19th is the date, so there we go. So yeah, great tournament. I hope this next one will be great as well. Thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.